Hey everyone, I thought I would do a little follow-up on those Temu cymbals. They have had roughly, I'd say, a month worth of time on them, and surprisingly, none of them have like folded inside out or even cracked yet. I'm actually pretty surprised. They still sound crappy and are definitely not something you're going to want to use live or in a recording, but practice-wise, as crummy as they sound, I mean, for $100, it's much more reasonable to start with these if you're beginning, or if you don't want to trash your good cymbals, like some A customs, and you want to save those for recording purposes and live, then I would suggest getting some of these. Again, it comes with a 14-inch hat, this 16-inch ozone crash, which just sounds like a splash, and then a 10-inch splash, 16-inch crash, which doesn't sound a whole lot different than the other one. Your 20-inch ride, and an 18-inch China, which the China's okay. The ride is okay, but for $100, you really can't beat that and have something to use and not worry about beating up your quality cymbals. So I definitely do recommend grabbing a pair if you're looking for something for that particular reason, just to beat those up for practice when you're on your own. So for me, I am running wireless into my ears from my computer, and so I don't really hear them that much anyways, since I got in-ear monitors. So the quality of them doesn't really matter so much when I'm jamming along to a song. And then when my guitar player is over here, if we're just jamming together, he's got headphones and we're just jamming along to the song with a metronome. So it works out great for that. So I know on the previous video, I got a ton of comments, people saying they sound like trash, and yeah, absolutely, they're not that great, but they serve their purpose if you just want something to jam on and not destroy your stuff. So I just wanted to give a little update. This is my Archer custom drum set. Unfortunately, I don't believe they're still making kits. I've had this since 2013, but it's a maple kit, 20 by 20 bass drum, 10, 12, 14 floor tom. It's definitely a killer set. It definitely made me fall in love with maple drums, but I think eventually my next kit I want to try out a quality birch kit. I've heard good things about that. I've kind of randomly jammed on in the past, but nothing of real high quality. So that's what I'm using. But yeah, I would say get them. There's different colors. I had somebody in the comments say the different color ones sounded a little different than these. But I also want you guys to know that video, if you haven't seen it, which I'll leave a link in the description if you haven't seen it and you're seeing this for the first time. I am using only my phone. When I did that video, I did no microphones of any kind. It's literally my Samsung S22 that captured all of that. So I'm not helping them out by any means with quality microphones or anything like that, but realistically speaking, would quality microphones really make a difference in how they sound? Probably not at all. It would just be a lot clearer, crummy sounding cymbals, I guess, if you want to put it that way. So just to be fair as much as possible, I did only use my Samsung S22 phone, and that was the quality that you got. But that kind of gave it a real world experience, I guess, without trying to manipulate it in a studio or something like that to kind of give false advertisement of how they actually sound. So if I made them sound good and then you bought them and you're like, man, these sound terrible, how did he get them to sound like that? Then you know that I didn't use any studio magic. So straight audio from my phone, that's it. So that way it's easy to digest, and you could tell that these are nothing more than just practice cymbals or beginner cymbals until you find out that, hey, drums are for me. Then definitely upgrade to something to your taste. Different cymbals are and different preferences. I absolutely do love the A Custom series, and for a China, my absolute favorite that I've played so far is a Zildjian Oriental China Trash. I use a 16-inch. I also have an 18-inch China. It's not the Oriental China Trash, but it is a Zildjian, and it is pretty awesome too. So that's definitely my preference of series, Zildjian that I've played. A Custom for pretty much the crashes, the splashes, and I have not tried the hats of A Custom. I would love to, but I have not had the ability to buy some of those and test them out. Right now, these are the Evans Onyx, and then the Evans HD Dry on this snare. And then right now, because I was in a pinch and was getting ready to do some music videos for a band I was working with, or am working with, I should say, I threw on a remote bass drum head. I do over here have the Evans EMAD 2, I believe it is. It's been a while. I bought it just because that's one of my favorite drum heads. So that's what I'm running, and these are just extra drum heads for backup. But yeah, these black Onyx, I bought them not particularly because I was looking and hoping that they sounded great, but because they kind of fit the vibe of the drum set with the black hardware as much as possible. I'm hoping to get black of these too. Kind of going off topic a little bit here, but if you're looking for black hardware like this, these are Mapex cymbal stands, and so are these for my boom arms for the toms. Mapex hi-hat stand. I'm running DW5000. I kind of like the black with red accents. It's pretty neat. I like that color, those colors. And then this color drum set really stuck out to me back then, so 13 years ago. One of my friends called it the root beer kit. Kind of looked like a root beer soda in color, I guess, to him. So yeah, black arms, legs, and then I purposely bought the black cymbals because I was doing some videos for a band, and it just looked cool. So that's why I bought these. There's different colors apparently. I can't remember which other ones there are. I think there's some red, maybe some blue ones. So if you have a preference in different colors, by all means grab those. But somebody in the comments, sorry, I think I rambled off, but somebody in the comments said a different color one that they bought sounded a little different than these ones. So I guess the color of them changes the tone a little bit. I am not going to go buy another $100 crappy cymbal set to test that theory out and see if I can tell the difference, but they said they sounded slightly different, but they did not say they sounded better. So they're in the comment section of the original Temu video, so go check it out. Maybe you can tag them and see what they thought of the difference between the two, and because if agreed with their preference, then see what happens. But yeah, so this is just a quick follow-up and a little rambling. Apologize. Going over my kit and what I'm using for practice. And like I said, this is just a great setup for beating the crap out of crummy cymbals so you don't ruin your good ones, and you can save them for what's important, live shows and recording. So I would definitely not use these in a recording session. Definitely not worth it unless you're on a tight budget and you're just trying to get a demo out with your band and see what's what, and then upgrade ASAP to whatever cymbal company and sound that fits your tastes. Thank you so much for watching. I'm hoping to do a lot more content in the future. My band Reality Disconnect is working on a ton of songs right now, And once we have all that situated, we're going to be dropping more content as soon as we possibly can. So thanks for watching. Hope this update kind of showed you that even though I've been beating the heck out of these for a month solid, as cheap as they are, they still have not cracked yet, which is kind of impressive. But don't expect these things to last, if you're practicing consistently, all the time for more than somewhere between 6 months, 9 months or something would be my guess. If I was practicing, let's just say 3 or 4 times a week and going solid for 6 to 9 months or something like that, I'd be surprised if they last longer than that for how cheap they are. So give it a try, see what you think, or don't really matter, but they do the trick. Thanks for watching.